Hey, so it's me, Sheldon. Kind of in need of a wingman, where someone that's kind of diverse, but it's important. Cubans and groups in Chihuahua, Mexico, to recite Sheldon. I'm getting the impression that my father's burning me out. There's some type of war going on, and my father totally cut me out. So it's to a point where there's no dinero, no dinero. The guy got the dinero, but there's no dinero. But so I'm going to yeah. So I'm looking forward to a wingman, but I'm getting the impression that someone that can pack a punch. I'm part Cuban, and also my mother's from Chihuahua, but I'm getting the Mexico. Um, but I'm getting the impression I'm from America, origins of America. I'm getting the impression that my neighbors are overlapping in a cult, an actual religious cult. It can be to a Cuba ancestry, or it can be a Great Britain ancestry, or the feeling of I'm, I have the impression that there's a cult or a religious movement. But the thing is, or maybe it's not. But the thing is, it's not normal. I'm getting the feeling that there's some type of invisible neural way to monitor and also to a spectrum to eavesdrop near your head to the point where it feels like someone's trying to body hack me. And I kind of convinced it's an enemy of either Chihuahua or enemy of Cuba, or maybe I'm born in America. You think things would be a little bit, kind of neutral. But the feeling of someone overlapping is giving the impression things are not as neutral as it felt for me. The reason why I kind of feel like there's a neighbor that's kind of making things not neutral. And I would like Cuba actually to confront, or maybe it's people in Chihuahua. The guy is from Zacatecas. Not exactly the same ancestry, but I think he's posing as, or his father's posing as a relative of mine. So I like someone to do some confront, or at least someone that has some muscle power. Um, so I'm getting the impression there's a spectrum that can be an influence to each side, and it's to the point where some don't even notice that it's creating a fixed spectrum to the point of their own audience, and to the point where there's voice clone or even biometrics, to the point where there's a secret cyber gang that is actually, that's I'm convinced that there's some type of cyber war going on that. And I'm born in America. My father, some might not know I'm English, Welsh, Irish, German. But the thing is, some things I'm getting the impression that there's always been some type of secret occult. So, but the thing is, when there's a spectrum of an intruder that's ruining a program of they of convinced that a program of a world order, or the feeling that so it's pretty much it. I'm getting the impression there's an intruder overlapping their own movement, but you think that there's some things that will be keep aligned with me, but then if it's not so aligned, then some things being thrown off. So it's giving the impression that, and I kind of convinced that the people that like Amy, or some of them aren't actually great, have best interest to people that are Cuba descent, or even descent. Or the thing is, it seemed like it's targeting the sense of Sheldon Mayton. That's what I'm trying to say, or at least some type of country that they think is ancestor. But the thing is, I'm getting that I at least be honest, at least to the point, because I'm looking for a friend that can actually pack a punch, or at least a wingman, or I'm getting to the point that someone's trying to harm me, and I'm not used to getting that impression. So I'm getting the feeling, it's not normal to be like losing out on partnership, but the thing is, or even being invited to go somewhere, and it kind of get the impression that I'm not invited, and when I'm having a conversation, the feeling of it's not normal for someone to overlap. It's actually becoming a nuisance for me. So I'm convinced that someone's trying to use a spectrum overlapping me, and then they're making insults. I don't think I'm dumbed down, but there's someone that's not so skilled minded that is actually eavesdropping a spectrum into the thought of mine, where to the point where it's forming a disruption. But you would think the patterns in the mind are actually someone else's mind. You would think when you have someone already elite minded, or at least align some things actually have patterns to the subconscious, or at least when there's interface to the point where there's ways to actually look eye to eye with someone. But when I'm getting the impression there's some type of enemy, it's like it's making it difficult to look, or it's messing with the subconscious, and or to the point where the audience might be going through some type of altering also, or even if there's a cult, to the point where it's making. I'm not too familiar because I haven't even had any conversation with anyone. Um, it's not normal to actually someone to actually avoid someone for so long. And I'm in Sacramento, and I'm yeah. So I used to be like a guy that goes to the gym every day, and actually I would thought I would be the guy that actually tried to compete. I mean, it's my mom had a first place trophy. I would think, one day it's a mindset type of thing. If your mindset can be dialed into, you might be able to gain something, an attraction like that. But the thing is, I'm I'm having a feeling that there's a pimp spying on me, where it's kind of pushing the great motive to actually even gain that attraction. So it's creating a whole different character. It's not even normal. So it's becoming a daily thing of a nuisance. And I think some should check into it, because it's really, it feels like it can really mess up the mindset. And it's important to straighten things out when there's it seems as if there's an enemy attempting to mess with the mindset, and things are just not so perfect, and at least get the